Today I am bringing you the final of the 3 Storm Heralds. The first one was Desert, the second one was the Sea, and today we're bringing you the Tundra. So let's begin with our concept. The idea I had for this build really began with a visualization. I like to think about a town that's sitting on the coast of a river. And this river really represents the boundary between civilization and the wilds. Now from the wilds, at the first snowmelt comes a group of kobolds. Now the town sees these kobolds approaching, but they're not overly worried about it. There's a fast moving river between them and the kobolds that is going to protect them. However, as this tribe of unusually white kobolds walks up, the river begins to freeze and creates a bridge where the kobolds move across and begin raiding the village. That is the concept I had in my head when I began building this Tundra build. So who is this kobold that we're building? Well, it's going to be a barbarian raider, but it's going to be focused on team support. It has its tribe that it works with. Now, I actually found Tundra the hardest to build, even though I think it's the best of the 3. And the reason for that is you could just build a normal barbarian and be perfectly fine just taking Tundra and getting those extra temporary HP for your HP to go further. However, it didn't have that D&D daily like zing, you know what I mean? So I wanted to make a support-based barbarian as best as I could while still just being a barbarian. So this is how I pulled it off. Our lineage is Kobold. One of the reasons for this is that I thought that most barbarians love to pick up a heavy weapon and just go ham. So it's kind of fun to explore the smaller races being barbarians. So that's what I'm going to do here. But more importantly, we're going to be a support barbarian, and Draconic Cry that comes from Kobold is a fantastic support ability. It's going to allow us to get within a couple of enemies range, and all of our allies have extra advantage on attacking them, so we increase our team's overall offensive potential with this feature. Great, that's an awesome support feature for us. Now, as for our stats, we're gonna have primary strength, secondary constitution, tertiary dex, wanting it to be at least 14 for our medium armor, and any extra can go into wisdom for our wisdom saves. Now, as for our leveling structure, we're gonna take our first level in fighter. After that, we're gonna go as many levels as you really want to into barbarian, but at some point, we're probably gonna wanna dip back into fighter to go pick up some battle master maneuvers. So let's talk about our first level. I went into the first level fighter for a very specific reason. I wanted the interception fighting style. It is just a support fighting style that is going to be used as a reaction over and over and over again, and it leans into us being a team player barbarian. Also at this level, we get second wind, and barbarians appreciate any type of healing because barbarians' HP just tends to go further than anybody else's due to their resistances. Now, of course, once we hit this third level, we are going to become a Tundra Barbarian. What does the Tundra Barbarian do? Well, we have an aura that whenever we use our bonus action, we give our allies and ourselves some temporary HP. This is a pretty dang good feature. It increases the tankiness of your team every single turn. It's not as crazy as something like a Twilight Domain cleric, but nothing is, and it's still pretty solid. Not only that, it's giving us temporary HP, which again goes further for barbarians. What I also like about this is now we have a defensive bonus action that increases our team's tankiness along with Draconic Cry to increase our allies' offense, and then we have a reaction in interception to continually increase our team's defense. So we have support in our bonus action and our reaction slots where we can have our actions for attacks. Now, what kind of attacks are we doing? Well, this was a great opportunity to actually go javelins, thrown weapons as our primary fighting style. The reason for this is it allows us to have a further influence on our positioning. We can now position in more detailed ways. We can position right by our allies so we can make sure they're getting their temporary HP, and we're in position for interception. Great, I love that. Now this decreases our overall damage output because rage requires melee attacks to get that bonus rage damage, as well as us not using a D8 weapon, we're using a D6. Now I'm gonna have a shield on the other hand, so the biggest weapon we could get is a D8. That being said, I wanna keep a D8 weapon on hand, so if someone approaches us, we can whip it out and start attacking them and get our bonus rage damage. So we're still going to be able to do melee combat, but we're just going to focus more on our ranged combat. Now we're going to be picking up our first ASI at level 5, Barbarian 4, and I'm actually going to take the Fighting Initiate Thrown Weapon Fighting Style. This prepares us for next level where we're getting extra attack, where we're going to need the Thrown Weapon Fighting Style to be able to use our multi-attack. Not only that, it's going to increase our damage output to kind of make it more relevant with rage. So it's about equal whether we're attacking in melee or if we're doing ranged attacks. We're still a little bit lower because they can use a D8 weapon and will eventually get a rage boost. However, the extra benefits of our positioning should make up for that little bit of less damage. Now moving into our mid levels, of course we get our extra attack as already mentioned, but we also get better temporary HP to distribute, so that's fantastic. We're gonna be happy giving people 3 HP a turn instead of 2. Doesn't sound like a lot, but once you're getting multiple teammates and you're raging, that tends to add up. At level 6, we're gonna get the ability to have cold resistance, and we're gonna be able to freeze water. So now that imagery I talked about about at the beginning of the video, where we can walk across a lake or a river, is now more possible depending on how your DM rolls it, of course. Just a side note here, I really do like Storm Herald's 6th level features because it gives barbarians, every single one of them gives barbarians something to do outside of combat, a niche to fill. It's not a huge deal. It's just that little bump that really helps barbarians out outside of combat. Now with these levels, we really need to start considering going back into fighter. I recommend Barbarian 8 because Barbarian 9 and onward really isn't the best. So I want to pick up at least 2 to 3 levels in fighter. This is going to give us Battle Master. Now Battle Master, we're going to pick up some maneuvers, and maneuvers go a long way with the support build. So which maneuvers would I be looking at? The first one is bait and switch. Bait and switch allows us to switch places with an ally so we can get them away. They don't get opportunity attack because we force the movement. And then it's going to give them AC on top of that. So it's really good for increasing our team's survivability further, which of course this build is going to love. The second one I would pick up is either menacing or goading attack. Menacing attack is overall better, but if they're immune to the frightened condition, goading attack really stands out. And we're getting to the later levels where there's a ton of frightened immunities, so this is where I'd really be looking at goading attack. Goading attack is just going to increase our team's tankiness by making them target us instead of our allies. And we love to be targeted because they're going to hit us. We probably have resistance, and then we can restore our temporary HP. And so we basically get 6 temporary HP per turn as our allies get 3. So we love taking hits. And finally, I would take trip attack. Trip attack can set us up for grapples. It's going to give all of our melee allies advantage, so we can really set up our whole team offensively, kind of going along with the Draconic Cry type flavor. It also has fantastic synergy with our 14th level feature. We get our Raging Storm feature here, and the Tundra version of this is they have to make a strength saving throw or their speed drops down to 0. That goes along with our bonus action that's giving temporary HP. So we give temporary HP and we can make someone's speed 0. I think that's pretty dang good. And it has great synergy with trip attack because we can knock them down, bonus action, give that temporary HP out to our allies, and steal all their movement speed so they can't even get up on their turn, and we can have multiple turns of just absolutely bashing them while they're down, and that is repeatable, no resources. The only way they get out of that is with spells or a strength save. After I get those 3 to 4 levels in fighter, if I want to pick up an ASI, I would go 4. Then I'm going to go back into Barbarian for the rest, just because I want to focus on Barbarian, even though it's not the most efficient leveling past level 8. I don't really care, I just want more Barbarian in my life. Now at the end of the day, what we've built here is a Support Barbarian, a really unique build, taking the decently powerful Tundra Barbarian and making something really fun and unique out of it. We're going to help our team offensively, we're going to help our team defensively, and we are mid-range and melee ready. Of course, long range is still going to be a problem for us. Now I want to end this video with a shout out to one of our amazing Patreons, Ambrose. Ambrose, thank you so much for what you do for the channel. We really appreciate it. If you want to be like Ambrose and join the D&D Daily Patreon, you're going to get some awesome benefits, ranging all the way up to playing in one-shots with me creating a custom character build for you, or even a custom one-shot. It's pretty dope, and you're going to be supporting the channel while you do it. But with that, my friends, I hope you have yourselves an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you then.